Hello everybody and welcome back to Full Throttle Drive. Thank you so much for joining me on today's video. So we are going to talk about the C8 Corvette and specifically the C8 Corvette's reveal or its unveiling and why we haven't seen that. Now, I'm with a lot of you guys. I'm just getting exhausted. I'm tired. I'm ready to see the Corvette debuted by now. And they keep pushing back when a lot of people think we'll be debuting it. And a lot of people really thought we would see it at Detroit. And of course, that did not happen. And we're just kind of left into the dark as to why. We've made a few theories around electrical issues or possibly that they're just continuing to push back because of C7 inventory. There's several different reasons, but of course none of us are 100% sure. But there was something interesting I read in the forums, and someone commented about the latest Corvette magazine, their April edition that just came out. And the people in the magazine that were the editors that were writing up the magazine talked about how they made the prediction we would see it at Detroit, as we've seen with the C7, as we saw with the C6 as well. Those past two generations and even some before them have all unveiled at Detroit. So it was to be expected that we would see this car unveiled there. But when it didn't happen, the editors of the magazine were interested. They were wondering what took place. So they did some digging. They used the sources that they have, which over decades of sources that they've built up for the magazine. And of course, a lot of them have a little bit of the in the know. Now, nobody has all the answers except the really tight-knit people. But my guess is, other than dealers that really know nothing about the C8 Corvette, there are a select few, and some of them actually are on the forums that give us little bits of information. But these editors reached out to their sources, and from what they put in the newest edition of their April edition Corvette magazine, they talked about how they actually heard that the electrical problem was found late as December, which pushed back production. So it sounds like the electrical problem that we talked about, and if you haven't already checked out that video with that information, do it now. But it does sound like that is a problem, something that GM was not aware of until a later time. So December rolled around, they had an issue with the electrical of the new C8 Corvette, something they had to fix, so they could not debut, or I guess chose not to debut, the car at Detroit. So this led them to wonder, when are they going to? And they came up with the information and prediction that GM is actually going to release the C8 Corvette in their own environment. They're going to make their own media press release event sometime this summer, which is interesting, but also may make a little bit of sense because, see, this is the C8 Corvette we're talking about. It's a huge platform change. It's the biggest change we've ever seen to the Corvette. The change we saw from the C6 to the C7 was incredible. Go look at C6 reviews, which were good, but there were a lot of harping on the car. The C7 blew people out of the water, and it really pushed the Corvette lineup to the next level, and I think readied it for the C8, because I'm not going to get too much into it since I have so many different types of videos. But the C7 platform, the normal platform of Corvettes, which is the engine in the front and a rear-wheel drive system, really hit the limits of what was capable. The ZR1 shows us we have so much power, 755 horsepower, but unfortunately the car just isn't able to keep up with a mid-engine layout for a multitude of reasons. So Chevy acknowledged this, and they knew that they could compete with the best of the best if they changed platform, and they could do it at a fraction of the cost. So that's why they've moved platforms. But moving on, that kind of gives us an idea that with this huge platform change, with this shift that we've just never seen before, it would make sense to have this massive event that GM or Chevy themselves put on for everybody. Now, we don't know for sure, that's just what the magazine talked about, but it's definitely an interesting take. And I do want to take note that Rick Conti, the Corvette enthusiast that has his own YouTube channel that I follow all the time and has tons of great information, acknowledges that they really don't know much. But he talked about the unveilings, and one of the things he mentioned was possibly them doing their own event this summer. And that's really interesting because we're starting to see possibly something that would make a lot of sense for GM to do. But again, all of this is pure speculation. I know a lot of you guys are just tired and sick of it. I am. I'm ready to see the car unveiled by now. Unfortunately, GM is taking their time, which, guys, I want to make a quick note here. It's really important that GM takes their time on this car because a lot of people think we're going to see massive issues with this platform change. They say, oh, the first year of any type of GM product or car in general, we usually have huge problems. Then add on changing the whole platform, something that GM's never done before as far as the Corvette lineup, and you're just asking for tons of issues. But nonetheless, we are seeing where GM is going to take their time on this. They want to make sure they get it right. They want to prove everybody wrong that they can make a car. Yes, the car will have flaws. Yes, they will have to improve on it. I mean, the Z06, even the C7 lineup, the Z06 lineup of that car had issues, overheating, and GM's not the best at admitting. They're very prideful, and we could see where they doubled down on that in the cars after with the ZR1 with extra cooling so that we didn't have overheating issues. I think they're going to do that with this car. Make sure that they work on as many flaws. Take what they've learned from previous generations, and that takes time. They want this to be right, and by doing that, again, they keep pushing back that date, but we want them to work on it now. We don't want these issues to preside after the car is unveiled. I don't want to be getting my allocation for a C8 down the road and find out that we have all of these issues. It's possible, it could happen anyway, but if they're willing to take a little bit more time, even maybe 6, 8, 10 months longer than I really would prefer, but they're going to perfect the car that much more, I think in my idea, it's worth it. Now again, everybody's ready, everybody's tired of just speculation and YouTube videos here and there, but with you guys being my community, with you guys watching my videos, I wanted to inform you guys and let you know that this is what we may see. We also could see it at a different type of event, being just a normal auto show. We still have possibly the New York Auto Show coming up in April, and then the LA Auto Show, which we didn't have that long ago, but they will have a 2019 LA Auto Show, obviously down at the end of November going into December. Now quickly, the last thing I want to share with you guys is talking about a patent that I just read on the Corvette forums, which was really interesting, and I've talked with you guys about one of the coolest aspects we may see on the new car for the C8 Corvette, whether it's the base, it may be the higher horsepower, more expensive versions, but active aero, because I find active aero so neat. I love technology. I love the ability of what this car may have coming into the future, and active aero is a great bit for cars. But the active aero we're seeing in this new patent is really interesting. It's almost a flap design, which would help the car in braking and turning and cornering. And it's kind of interesting, these kind of flaps that would be the car, and it kind of sounds crazy, but actually Paganis have these type of these flaps on their cars, and they're designed for excess braking, but you can actually use that braking power to make a corner. So there's lots of uses for the active aero, but I thought I would show you guys that and give you guys a little bit of information before we close out today's video. So now guys, what do you think on the upcoming C8 Corvette? I know everybody's ready. You'll probably tell me in the comments below that you guys are tired of waiting, and I'm right there with you. But what are you guys thinking about the C8 Corvette? I'm getting lots of feedback, and I appreciate all of that. I love talking with you guys, even the people that aren't too caught up on the new C8 Corvette. A lot of you guys maybe even think that the C7 is going to continue to be built. We've gone back and forth on this. A lot of people saying that they think that the C7 will end as the C8 comes out, especially because the C7 inventory is continuing to build, and a lot of that has to do with anticipation for the C8 Corvette, and that makes a lot of sense. But nonetheless, people that really like the current platform and build of the C7 may be wanting to continue seeing that platform built, and we just don't know. Car and Driver has kind of doubled down, saying that they believe there is going to be some sort of overlap, whether it's just the first model year or not, we don't know, but it will be interesting to see, and in the coming months, we're going to get lots more information on this. So guys, thank you so much for joining me on today's video. If you found it helpful, interesting, enjoyed the topic, or just love the C8 Corvette, please hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. We would love to have you on our community, and as always, you all take care, and I'll see you next video.
You stole my heart of gold after my silver soul.